This is how it works. It's magic. This is the magic. Well, I'm gonna play the theme song. We're gonna get this going now.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready. We'll do this.
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Oh wait, no, we'll redo it because you guys can't hear that. So here, we'll redo this. That was a mulligan.
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay.
Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve.
Welcome back to Cruising with Steak. This is Grim Steak here, live on a Thursday night on Grimerica FM. Here we are, a little special bonus podcast I like to call Two Guys, One Cup. I mean, Two Guys, One Guest. And we've got, I'm joined by my main man, my twin flame, my number one squeeze, Mr. James Cruz.
It's me.
There he is. And we're also joined tonight by Mr. Keats Ross from the Pragmagick podcast. God, tongue twister.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I like Pragmagick. Yeah.
Pragmagick.
How's it going, guys? Good to finally meet you face to face, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome. And we're also surprise joined by Mr. Jerry Cthulhu.
You invited me.
I was like, hey man, hop in. You want to hang?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing an interview. I'm sorry.
No, it's what we do. I invited you. You're right. So
3 guys, 1 cup.
3 guys, 1 cup.
It's 4 guys, I think.
It's the sequel. Yeah.
No, somebody's got. I'll be the cup tonight.
Yeah.
Go nuts, guys. Man, so Keats, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Long time listener, first time caller.
I appreciate you listening. And I apologize for those hours of torture that had.
No, it's great. It's such a breath of fresh air from all the I don't know, just the over serious nature of a lot of my podcasting experience.
It is. You know? There's a lot of serious. There's people that take this very serious out there. We'd probably be canceled in a lot of circles.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't know if you'd ever make it on the air.
No, we wouldn't. Man.
So did you guys are stem from from Grimerica, right?
We were born. We came out of Graham's ass. He gave it was a serious birth.
After a coffee enema.
After a coffee enema.
That's the cup.
We met there and started a show 2 years ago, and 112 episodes later, here we are.
And you guys weekly, right?
Weekly.
Sometimes
every
twice.
week. Sometimes twice a week. It's a passion. It's what I love.
I love that idea because I was trying to calculate how many hours it takes me to produce one episode, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Don't do that. I'll never do it again if I start calculating how long it takes,
Live to tape. That's what it's all about.
Do it live.
Our
shows take 10 minutes to edit?
Yeah, exactly. It's as long as however it takes to process the audio, just to level everything out. And I think you do, basically to export it and get the throw a Felix song at the end, and there we are. Show's done. Bada boom, bada bing.
Well, that's how the show evolved. I was just telling somebody the other day, they were talking about our show, and I think the way it evolved into what it is now is because we started. Well, we would do an interview with a guest like yourself, and then the next day, me and Grim would sit down and we started cutting these intros for the interviews, and then they would be 10 minutes. 20 minutes, and then sometimes you'd be like, hey, somebody want to come on with us while we do an intro, and then it'd be 3 people in here, and then it'd be a half hour. It kept, sometimes the intros were as long as the show.
Yes, we do an hour and a half interview with an hour and a half intro, and it's we can't keep this up. This is not fair to the guests that we had on. This is crazy.
It became so much fun. We're I mean, nothing against the guests, it was just it just changes. And I mean, we did it a year or so straight of just straight up interviews,
Yeah.
And then we, I don't know. I mean, like you said, we've always kind of known Graham and Darren from Grimerica, but and then like I don't even know how long we've been doing the live show now. Like what about a year?
Yeah, about a year. Because
So,
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
so-
just want to say congrats on the 2 years.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
It's a lot of fun, dude. It's I don't know. I mean,
Sounds like it.
yeah, it's cool to do the show. It's not on necessarily on. I mean, Jerry posts them on his YouTube channel, the shows that he's on, which is pretty much every single show. But like, I mean, we don't have like this like a YouTube chat going with like an insane troll room, you know.
Right.
It's more so like we have our Discord. We have our own Discord channel, and the chat explodes. So it just becomes like a live interactive like hangout during the show live, which just generates more insanity to it.
I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a family. It's a
Agent
family
of
and a
chaos.
community we're growing.
Yeah.
Doing the show is one thing, and then when you actually create something that people actually want to hang out with you all day long, every day, you know. Now
Seeing
that's
them in the
that's
chats,
special.
Yeah. It's a
I
community.
find it special.
It's a
No, it's
support
impressive,
group.
and you can hear it. You can hear
Yeah.
that comfort come through, which is like more than I can say for most podcasts these days.
Yeah.
It sounds very much robotic, and I don't see a lot of longevity in this. Just the intro interview structure for myself, to be quite honest. You know,
It,
I would
it's
want
hard.
it to be a little bit more freewheeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do that though. You know, so many weirdos that you could just get people on and just hang out. That's all you got to do.
You know, I think the big thing for me though is I have this constant like issue with kind of technology as a whole. Like, how much do I want to be on it? And
Yeah.
how you know what I mean? Because with my work and with everything else creatively, it's really just fucking computer based. You know?
Yeah. Well,
Do you
dude,
see
I
my
mean,
shirt?
What's that? Oh, sorry. Should I not? Nice.
No, weird. Oh, that's awesome.
We are the weirdos. Wait. We are the weirdos, mister. Yeah.
It's a planchette. It's a Ouija planchette.
Oh,
Nicely done. Yeah.
You
That's
said
great. Where's
weirdos.
that from?
Sorry.
Oh, where's the shirt from?
T Fury.
T Fury. Yeah.
TFury.com. They have a new,
Yeah.
different shirt every day, a unique shirt every day, I should say.
That's cool. Yeah, my logo is a planchette as well.
It is.
For Pragmagick.
Pragmagick.
That's a fucking double synchro.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's with the guests. I totally feel that because you interview and you go, but it's just sometimes you just want to unload. You don't want to have any topics and just go off.
Well, that's
Or
what I
just
like.
booking people.
Always. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was gonna say, meeting new people was like a huge part, like of what I got like joy out of it, and like being in the podcast in general. All me, Grim, everybody here. That's all we do. We listen to podcasts all day long, while we're working and shit. So, I thought it'd be cool to bring on other podcasters. So a lot of them interviews too, where we're bringing other people in different genres of podcasts. I mean, in not different, but like just shows that, maybe the average person didn't listen to or something, which I just went listening to shows and I was like, hey man, you want to come on? And people were cool enough. You'd be surprised. Everybody pretty much says they'll do a show or you're gonna guest, it can be nerve-wracking sometimes being like, oh man, should I invite this dude on or whatever? Well, like said scientist or whatever, like,
Right.
does this guy really want to come on our fucking show? But like, sure enough, here they are. It's like it can get weird at times, but
It's not like you've had Neil deGrasse Tyson on.
no, yeah,
yeah, we
that's
couldn't
very-
release that episode.
Well, yeah, I think there's a part of being somewhat of a young podcaster, and there's like a need to kind of build some sort of formality to it to kind of make sure it's rising the guests more than yourself. Maybe, I don't know. That's why I'm happy to be on to talk to you guys about inside baseball with podcasting.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's something I
it's-
don't get to talk about a lot lately.
Yeah, that's different too. There's different kinds of shows. You have like the conglomerate, like you're selling Casper mattresses and ads and bullshit like that, and then you just have basic, hobby shows like ours, but we take it fairly seriously. I mean, I don't know. We have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, like Grim said, there's not.
We're never gonna sell out. We're never gonna have ads. And we're never gonna go behind a paywall.
It's about we take. I don't know if you ever heard of No Agenda, but
Sure.
Huge podcast.
Value for value.
Value for value model. That's what we base. If you find any value in it, throw some bones at it if you want.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. I don't foresee this being a financial,
Exactly. As long as you look at it as a hobby and like it's what I've always told James. Once this feels like a job and it starts stressing me out, I'm done with it. But as long as I keep having fun doing it, and it's a passion. It's a hobby and a passion.
My stress comes from the guests, I just want to make sure that I elevate them more than I'm, being opportunist on my part in a way.
Right. You get a little of both.
Right.
Screw it. I mean, you're having guests.
I mean, it is for me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the reason why I started this was I can't afford going back to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't afford to talk to academics and all of that through the usual confines of the system. And so it was really just like a furthering education thing for me. And, I read a book and I love it. I want to talk to that person. So here's a platform to do that,
And they will. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Everyone wants to talk about their shit.
You reach out to them and they will.
So true. Yeah.
I mean, that's why you're on tonight, Keats, so we can expand our audience. I mean, you have a huge following with Pragmagick.
Do I? I don't know.
It's massive. I'm sure.
Is it? No. You're just pulling my chain.
You're being humble.
Yeah. So how long you been doing? How long? I mean, I know I checked out your site, dude. Your website's awesome. Yeah, we can get into art and stuff in a little bit, but I love talking podcasting. But
no. I've been doing this, so I guess pretty consistently for this past year. So I would probably be at an episode and a half, like a month. That's what I was starting out as.
Okay.
Now I've been, kind of pushing them out, but I've got to temper that too because I've got other shit I need to focus on.
Yeah.
And this can take a lot of magic, It can take a lot of personality and like energy and creative drive to, do the video and the article I put out with it, and you know what I mean. So
you get all serious.
You have a whole video aspect to it. You got
it's all highly produced.
Yeah, how do you say it again?
Pragmagick.
Pragmagick.com. Check it out.
That's good feedback though, because like you want the title to be pronounceable.
Well, that's what I'm like on Twitter, and I see some of the shit that you put out. I'm like, oh, we do garbage. I was like, our stuff doesn't matter. I was like, you put some good stuff out.
That's crazy. That's super nice of you to say. No, that's it all comes from a place of artistic background with like supreme interest and absolute love for it, so but yeah, it is a shit ton of work. And that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, I was telling my friend Eric, I'm going to calculate how many hours it takes, like from recording the interview to like when I finally post it. I got up to about 5 hours and then I realized, stop, don't look at it like that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't even comprehend editing a show for over 30 minutes.
Oh, and it's not editing. It's like, because I don't edit the conversations.
Yeah, you do all the artwork and stuff there along with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the uploading and you know what I mean? It's like real boring technical shit with it.
Right.
But yeah, labor of love. Absolutely.
Yeah, I tried to do like a little customs, little whatever. The thumbnail. Now I'm having some fun with some video crap. But so I'll post that on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah,
those are the primarily ones. I think I do have a Facebook, but I haven't been on there in like a year.
Oh, Facebook's a shit show.
Yeah, I don't ever go on there. Yeah, I wish I would have never started it up, really. But there's a lot of people that you can reach on there. Like, well, I was able to reach guests easy or on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. That has been my like cross to bear with Facebook. It's
Yeah.
like it's necessary for
Right.
promotion and people. Yeah, I get a hold of people better than I do within any other platform on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, so it's necessary evil, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't read the timeline.
No.
There's no point. Not at all. Yeah, if you have Facebook Messenger, that's really all you need.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I really just started doing Twitter since this past year or so, and I have a good relationship with it. I feel like I like it.
You could put yourself in a good like echo chamber in Twitter, or you could follow it exactly. You know, you could curate it better.
Yeah,
you're not just getting
absolutely.
wild
And I
shit.
feel like people are way more approachable on Twitter than
absolutely.
anything else. That's how I found a lot of guests I didn't think I'd ever get. Was, finding ways to kind of communicate to them, whether it was like write a review of their book and then show it on Twitter. Then they'd like it and be like, "Hey, you like it? You want to chat about it?" You know. So Twitter's been, to me, probably the best way to source, artists and other people working.
All right. So you're out in Portland, right?
Yes, I am.
The Wild West.
The Wild West.
It is a shit show right now.
Is it really a shit show? All the rumors aren't true, or all the man?
Well, and not just talking politically, economically. It's just in such a weird space right now.
Yeah.
And it's I'm definitely considering moving on. This is the second time I've lived in Portland, the only place I ever moved back to, and I love it. I've got a lot of great memories. I have a lot of good connections. I mean, the family I've made here is incredible. Yeah. But, I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I can do whatever I want anywhere, and I don't have to be tethered to a certain place or its identity, So
it's a good
it's
feeling.
definitely something I've been meditating on.
Yeah. Man, but
I assume you guys have, I can only imagine what Portland looks like to the rest of the world right now.
oh yeah, it's not painted in the prettiest picture but that's the thing. I mean, there's also the whole show Portlandia, which, paints it in that beautiful light. So I mean, I have that to battle all the wild propaganda that I see on the internet.
Right.
I don't even know what to believe
Common
online.
sense.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry.
No.
Well, no, it's just like, I don't know what to believe. Anything could even be falsified.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't know.
about the city, right? It's about you. And I think out of all the places I've lived, that was the one consistent thing, was where I was in my life at that time. I think you can find beauty and greatness anywhere. I just not entirely sure how much I need it from Portland right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What took you down the path of weird? Like, when did you start getting into some weird shit? Because I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I am the only child between my parents who were super young when they had me, like 19, and they divorced like quickly after. I only saw them in one room once together,
Oh, wow.
when I was in high school. My girlfriend actually called the other day. She goes, if we get married, they're gonna have to be in the same room again. I was like, yeah, it's fine. They're okay. But so my path kind of diverged like that. I stayed with my mom in the Southwest in a very strict kind of Catholic upbringing. And then I would visit my father, who was living on a compound with writer Marilyn Ferguson, who wrote The Aquarian Conspiracy. And that's actually where the name Pragmagick comes from. She put out this zine called the Brain Mind Bulletin, and it was very much a New Thought-esque mind metaphysics zine. And then they collected all the zines into a book called Pragmagick, but with a C. And so I was really living in that contradiction between, kind of an oppressive, sun-bleached desert lifestyle into, visiting my father, who was, spiritually open. He, Robert Anton Wilson was a part of our world. Timothy Leary, I
heard
bounced
that,
on his knee when I was a baby.
I
Whoa.
heard that interview. Your dad did an interview with Robert Anton Wilson that you put up on your feed a while ago. That was good.
Yeah, no, it's so, but at the same time, I had to hunt for that because it wasn't around all the time. I didn't really I always had like just an inclination for the other. I think I asked my father what God was when I was 3 years old because I was very concerned. Yeah. And so like it's always been this just lifelong pursuit of, understanding it. And then I diverged even further where I got into a really dark place in my life and struggled with addiction and really just down and out ruffian shit, and what kind of helped bring me for air or up to air was a lot of the self work and the self like alchemy
Right.
that was prevalent in a lot of this nonsense and this woo woo. So I really appreciate it. I have a lifelong love and trust in it in a way. Although the more I know about it, the more interested I am about personal folklore and about building your own mythology and what works for you and what can, help. So I don't subscribe to any sector or base at all.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. Like, that's exactly because I've struggled with addiction for fucking years, and I feel like that's when I finally got clean, when I started going deep into the woo woo and crazy shit, and that makes me think like just how many people are into this shit that have struggled with stuff. Seems like a lot. Like there's been a lot of rough paths.
We all raise our hands.
Yeah. So here's a brilliant discovery through all this, work and talking with people and all sorts of fields. Like magic comes for desperate people. It comes out of desperation and this need to like pull yourself out of this somatic bullshit that you're in, right?
Right.
So it's actually a really beautiful thing, a really transformative thing. And of course, anyone who's investigated it and works with it knows it's a lot less about demons and the goetic shit, and it's more about like inner alchemy and transformative practices to help cure a little bit at least.
Right. It's also, I mean, it feels like a good alternative to the whole church and Christ and everything, the formal systems. It's almost a way of looking at something higher or better, but in a different way.
I think it's totally helpful. I absolutely do. I don't agree with dogmatic principles and absolutes. The more I understand about any of this, the less I know. So it's like,
that is so true. Yes.
Yeah. So like it's always fascinating to me for people, especially coming from an artist background, musician and writer background, like hitting those notes when you're creating and when you're writing or you're painting or whatever you're doing. Like it's that feeling. How do you fucking calculate that feeling? What is that? What's driving you? What are you tapping into? And I think that's pretty much my entryway into any of this,
Right.
I say a lot, so please call me out on it.
Hey, that's all right. I
Go. Yeah, I know.
I have terrible words.
Oh man, the first few podcasts it took. See, there it is. I took 1 or 2 episodes where I went in and just removed the ums and the you knows.
Oh, you did that? Jeez.
Just the first like, so the first 3 episodes were recorded live. I couldn't do that. But the first, formal like interview, I went in and tried to do that and just I hated myself for it. I was like, this is so gross.
Man,
like,
yeah,
like
it is.
and it's not pretty, but they're there for a reason.
I just leave it all in.
Yeah,
It's me. I'm no professional talker, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's also kind of lying, you know?
It is.
Well,
It is,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and it shows the thought process like live, you know. It that's the way I see it. I'm
Yeah.
a fucking horrible speaker.
You know, I've been coming to more, I think why people really enjoy podcasts, or the ones that I see that really hit home, are the more casual ones.
Mm-hmm. They're real.
Like,
It's,
far
I think
more
it's because a
casual,
lot of
yeah.
people they don't have that situation to talk about the things they want to talk about in real life, like with
Yeah.
people around them at work or their friends or family. And then, but the podcast offers them. It's like I don't know if you've seen that meme of that kid that's sitting there laughing like with the girls eating ice cream. The picture of the girls eating ice cream, saying me listening to podcasts. I don't know, but it's good.
No,
But yeah, man, you're just sitting there. You're listening to almost like friends talking in your ear. You're listening to a conversation. You're a fly on the wall.
but you know that, like I said, it lasted one episode, and it was just ridiculous to do it. But it just on that tangent, it made me really think about this nature to overproduce or put some projection of what you are and who you sound like out to the world, because you're afraid, you know, of what it is naturally. And so I appreciate the less editing, the better.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys are self-conscious of that. They tighten it up. I know Ryan Peverly. I'm gonna call him out right now. He does that. He tightens the shit out of his podcasts.
Yeah.
Because like I called him out on it one time on Discord. I'm like, dude. I'm like, do you
ever
like
take a
cut? Do you cut everything out or like what goes on? He's like, yeah, I tighten everything up. Like he takes all the dead space out, so it's just like super quick and just tight.
Confirms my theory that,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
when I was listening to it, I was thinking, does he ever breathe? Like,
Yeah. It's just
I
so
think-
tight.
Podcast hosts edit their podcasts in a manner in which they would prefer to listen to them.
right.
So I would say, Peverly doesn't have a lot of time, so he wants the shit condensed.
Get right to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the result is great. It sounds great.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, he's got a great show. It's way more successful than our show. I mean, that's for sure.
I had the pleasure of talking to him recently. Actually, I asked to interview him, but funny enough, I wanted to interview him less about occult stuff and more about inside baseball podcasting and you know, that whole thing. But he respectfully passed because you know, he announced this, so this isn't unloading any tea or anything. But he's going to be done with a culture in the next month or
Really?
so. Yeah.
Wow. Well, good for him. I figured it
Yeah,
wouldn't last
I
too much
was-
longer.
You know,
But-
and that's what I'm telling you. It comes from a good place.
Yeah.
He's kind of gone from any of that. So why
Yeah.
continue? You know,
It's hard to continue working on these things without
Yeah.
change every week.
Mm-hmm.
I know I hit the one with Nox Mente about 6 months ago with my podcast.
so I've listened to your podcast.
Oh, yeah?
I love it. Yeah,
Thank you.
Nox Mente is great. You and Niche, is that
Nish, yeah.
Yeah. Niche?
I call her Nish, but I guess I'm the only one.
I call her Nish. That's all I know. But yeah, that's man. That's
But
crazy.
anyways, yeah, just wanted to quickly say that I'm a fan of Nox Mente.
Thanks.
The dream,
We can talk
the
dreams.
conscious spelunking.
Yeah.
What I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, so we just came up with another show that we're going to do once a month. So we have 3 Nox Mentes in this new show. It's called The Obelisk. So it shakes things up and it's not as boring, and we're not stuck in that box of dreams either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that
Yeah.
makes sense.
There's a lot of things that there's people we've invited on who don't want to talk about the dreams but would like to talk.
So
No.
that's where I'm at with Pragmagick. Is, you know, the occult thing was just kind of an arm of what the whole point was, and you know, you can burn out real quick when it's just one axiom of the
Mhm.
entire idea. So I totally respect that.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to put yourself in a box.
Right.
You want to be able to talk about anything.
Well, and
'Cause
that's the
it's
thing,
not-
you know,
and
like
people change.
going back
over
to
time.
Ryan Peverly, it's
Yeah.
not something he could like it's so inherently based in occult, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
could
remember
see-
having him on and he was not, I don't know, not complaining, but he's just like, yeah, he's in a box and
right,
people get pissed when he would try to talk about something else because
right.
it's right there in his name. So this is what you should be talking about.
Yeah, and that's a bummer, and that's not
Yeah.
technically fault of his own. You know,
No.
But-
I think when we were a guest on that one Raw that he was on, that was the one time we got actual hate mail, or I got specific hate mail
That's
because
right.
I said something was fucking gay, and then somebody messaged in and they're like, I don't
Going off.
appreciate you having homophobic guests on that are gonna say gay in a negative way like that.
yeah,
And I was like, oh man,
I
That's
can't
right.
imagine the sort of like echelon he's hit with that podcast and what. You
Can you
know,
imagine? Yeah,
he's got tons of listeners.
what
His Patreon is really good
criticisms
too.
and, you know,
Oh yeah, I bet.
He made his million. He's out of here. Right?
yeah,
I'm sure he gets more. I'm sure he gets shit on more than he does get any good feedback compared
It's
to
one
any.
less Patreon thing I have to pay
Yeah.
one.
yeah. Well, so the thing is that he told me he also announced this on the podcast, so that's why I feel like I can
Yeah.
talk about this. But he had mentioned that he's going full on into like health and wellness, and he's going to go back to some school program for it. And he told me that there's something in the works.
Wow.
with
Good for
that.
him. Well, yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he's
I thought that was just the greatest.
he does a
fucking
good
ever.
show, and he's a good.
Go from a cult to health and wellness.
Yeah.
He did it right.
Yeah. And dude, there's so many egos in the occult community, big egos, and they're just always clashing. So it's like I would hate to just be a podcaster in that community.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. It's already been a thing for me too. Tempering kind of the dogmatic occult stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's gotta be rough. Just start talking about aliens. You always just sidestep to aliens.
But the beauty is I only talk to people I want to talk to.
That's
you know?
Yeah.
there you go. That's what you do.
But yeah, the dogmatic stuff is definitely a continuing theme throughout the occult, or just, you know, the loud few, I think.
The loud few. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see a ghost or have any weird experiences?
Sure. Yeah.
Fill me
but,
in.
Uh,
Well,
Yeah.
just doing Goetia magic, definitely. You
No,
dealt with demons.
no, I mean, that was something I messed with, but nothing.
I dabbled.
I dabbled. Yeah. I dabble in it all. It's very
said.
like, yeah. I'm very, you know, very much a create your own folklore, take from many, while still giving reverence to what you're using, you know?
Right.
So, but yes, I have had paranormal stuff a lot more when I was a kid, which I think is a running theme about the paranormal, which there's something like unadulterated and you know, how do I put this, uncorrupted about a kid's imagination and what they experience. So I'm not entirely sure if what it was something supernatural and this shared somatic reality, but I still consider it as such for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I've lived in haunted houses as a kid. I had one where I was in a program, like an after school program. It was called Gate.
Gate? Oh
Yeah,
man, I don't
know if
like
you guys
that.
have that.
No.
Yeah, it
Gives
already doesn't sound
Ellen.
good.
Education.
Yeah, it's gifted academically through education, I think was the thing.
There are screening programs for the MK programs.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is my story. And so I was in it, and I was always kind of a shit kicking kid. Like I've always had an issue with authority, and you know, as you want to do, right? But I told there was one class where we were talking about, I was writing an essay on Alzheimer's, and I was probably 10 years old, which looking back, that's an insane statement. You know,
An essay on Alzheimer's when you're 10.
when I was 10 years old. Yeah. And I remember making the correlation to memory and to the paranormal, and I regaled to my teacher this thing that was happening at night where I'd wake up in the middle of the night in my home in Phoenix, and the whole room would fill with this red light. And there was someone tugging on my sheets with a very low voice that in a language I couldn't understand. But I remember even at that time and like through writing the thing about Alzheimer's that maybe I'm misremembering it. Like maybe it was a dream, and she took it like it was fucking fact. Like she set me aside. She brought my parent to a meeting and was like, you need to move out of that house. You've got a ghost issue. Like she took it insanely serious.
Oh,
and
man.
So,
Yes.
so afterwards, I've always like really felt strange because I already had thought I was misremembering, mismembering,
I like
but
it.
I already thought that my context for it was kind of weird. Like I understood what dreams were. I understood that it could be a dream, but it was reoccurring and it felt real. But I was always giving myself an out. Like I was always giving myself that, it's probably me. I'm doing this wrong. I'm thinking about this wrong. It's not actually a ghost. And so as I've grown older, I've considered it more deeply instead of as it more of a paranormal thing, which is like what you'd hear in reverse a lot of times with people and
almost like have you ever experienced sleep paralysis or anything like that?
Oh yeah.
Like that almost sounds like a sleep paralysis experience. Like
Funny enough, crazy. I've always been on my stomach with sleep paralysis, and it is fucking terrifying.
Weird, man. Have you ever had like any of the entities show up, like the old hag or the grinning man or the top hat man or any of that shit?
No, but just that lost, like your essence is lost in your mind and you can't move a limb, But weird. That's the thing. I was sleeping on my stomach, so I couldn't see what was happening.
Yeah, there could have been something on your back.
Right.
Oh. Incubus. It could have been an incubus. Oh, jeez.
Incubi.
Man.
But yeah, no. So I've had quite a number of experiences. Even as of recently, I wouldn't say, I guess it would be considered paranormal, but I've had experiences through magical rites and through psychedelic experiences that made me really understand that there is a kind of a dimension on top of this one. You know what I mean? That we're not seeing. Not to get all woo and weird about it.
No, get woo and weird. Get as woo and weird as you can.
I do believe there is something about the neither, which is the writer and occultist or artist Austin Osman Spare. He talked about this like underworld that kind of lived on top of ours.
Really? And I like this.
You kind of hear about it.
The upside down?
I guess, yeah. Which Stranger Things is totally just the Montauk Project, but
right.
Absolutely.
But and that relates to like
Rooskies.
Yeah. I haven't finished the third season.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So but it's very much in line. The neither, like Jung would call it the collective unconscious, like Bell's theorem and quantum physics, like this kind of realm where thoughts are imagineering themselves, and I do feel like there's something to that. Alan Moore talks about it all the time too. He thinks that your imagination is an actual universe that's being lived out aside from this shared somatic one. So I don't know. I think there's something to it. I look at it more artistically. Definitely. I think though.
The only thing I know about quantum physics that I try is I try to get my 4 cats into one cat carrier.
And God forbid one of them's dead. Schrodinger. That's funny shit. But yeah, so I have but I'm very into what we share, what we agree upon between us as this like somatic reality, because once you start thinking, oh, the imagination is a different plane, it does whatever it can, then it's like, okay, enough said. What the fuck's happening here?
Well, I'm obviously you're familiar with the tulpas and the creative thought forms and
Right,
stuff. And
egregores,
yeah, and I've I think it comes up every show that like this whole just if enough people believe shit, you know,
I
it becomes true. Whether it's Trump's a racist when he didn't say anything racist, it becomes true. Whether when I'm watching the show about
You have to repeat it enough.
if you repeat shit enough, it becomes true. It's fucking nuts. And I watching this other Netflix show, Black Spot, and talking about this cryptid creature that lives out in the woods, horned animal, it, you know, that was the beauty of the lore. Enough people believed it, so it becomes true.
Yeah.
Is that like what happened with Bigfoot? Was it just a tall ape-like creature that someone saw? Enough people keep saying, "No, it's a guy." You know,
Or
like
maybe it wasn't, and now it is because enough people.
Yeah.
I would argue more Slender Man is a better example.
there you go. Yeah,
Talking
That's
about
a great example.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is like in real time. We watched that happen.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
You know?
It's crazy. Well, and the whole
And
Now
Momo,
it's
the
a
Momo
shitty
thing.
film. Like it did the full circle. Like it
Yeah, it's
ended up being
crazy.
a really shitty horror film. Like it
Oh,
started.
that's right. I forgot they made a movie of
ended
that.
Yeah, once he
maybe
girls killed each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Almost.
maybe the movies solidify the entity in the space.
hmm
Mm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it reached more of an audience, right?
Sure, but it's a film that's been made, that's been viewed. It has seeded the collective.
That's true. Yeah. It exists now. Yeah. And it's also, you know, imagined on a wide scale. Like there's now visual representation instead of artist renderings or
Right.
ideas
Mhm.
that you'd see. Yeah. But you know, that comes down to I do agree with that. I've dabbled a lot in chaos magic when I was younger, and it's something I still there are components that I still mess with, but that's kind of where the route takes you with chaos magic is understanding that belief is this tool, and it's the egregore and this collective thought to manifest something, and it can be a little nefarious sounding, honestly.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Whew.
You just said
Well,
something.
that's the thing with magic, is that it's neutral. It's a tool, and it's how you use it is what makes it quote unquote bad or evil or whatever, good or whatever. So those types of ideals and tools in the public are usually suppressed by the government or the organization that controls that, like the Vatican. You see those things more suppressed, and this would be my argument why, if there was actual high-tech alien technology here, that it couldn't be released to the public because it's a tool that could be used for harm in a way.
So it would unleash more of a Pandora's box.
Yeah, if you think about all the shit you can buy now, appliances and tools and everything, you can't really do much damage with them.
What's the
But if you had a home
Pragmagick
fusion machine, you could rewire it to blow up your neighborhood or something.
right? I guess it all comes from intention, right? I think that's the source of all of it,
Mhm.
and more of an agreed upon nefarious intention would make that the creation,
Mm-hmm.
Did you say something about Project Bluebeam?
Yeah, it made me think of Project Bluebeam, which is, something to mask, kind of get all of us alien nuts in a corner.
Did you see the Spider-Man?
I don't think that's ever been proven to be a real thing.
Right. Yeah. I was just using it as an idea to relate to it.
Yeah, there's no space aliens because we're under a dome. So.
Oh, I see. We're going there. All right.
The old dome. We go there.
Oh, that's what I was gonna
I'll
say.
speculate anything.
Ron Braun told us so.
You know what my grandfather always said? Never trust a Nazi.
Werner was not a Nazi.
Oh,
There,
I don't know too much
I
about
researched this. You cannot find a picture of him in a Nazi uniform. Forever.
So that makes him not a Nazi.
He's hanging out with Nazis in every
Day and
freaking
age.
picture.
The Nazis didn't exist, folks.
It doesn't exist.
Serious. I'm serious. I am serious.
This is not my area of expertise. I'm just relaying what I've like Project Paperclip, you know. That's
Yeah.
these are like summaries that I've glossed over.
He's like Einstein.
He's
Nazi.
there was-
smart.
Left
there was like
Germany because of Nazis, just like von Braun.
If they taught a conspiracies 101 class in college, like paperclip, blue beam, these kind
Right.
of things would be
I
discussed
could
in
teach
them.
that.
No,
Yes.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
should, Jerry, be a
that's where I'm
professor.
coming from.
Conspiracies 101, that'd be a beautiful class. They should teach everybody. Keats,
Yes, sir.
representing
That's,
sideburns.
Titanic.
Respect.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We're doing the mutton or side.
We
What do they
got
call them? Muttons, right?
I don't know, man.
Mutton chops.
Yeah.
Mutton chops.
We got
They
him,
look
though.
good, but they don't look like pork chops, which is what I always
No,
thought.
no, they're
Mutton
not.
chops
No,
have
because pork
elongated-
chops, they go down. They go way down.
Right.
No, mutton chops, not pork chops.
No, I know, but where chops came from, I always think of it's the sideburn that kind of curves right here.
Yeah.
No, I know what
yeah.
it is. I know what it is.
Yeah.
This is a big
Do you know
And so
where?
in my brain, I'm like mutton chop. Oh, it looks like a pork chop.
I could.
Do you
I'm
know
not saying
where-
it's true.
Do you know how they got be called sideburns?
Why'd they get called sideburns? Let's hear the lore.
During the Civil War, there was a General Burnside
Uh-huh.
who shaved his beard in that fashion, and his troop mocked him by calling him sideburns. But they
Man.
called them sideburns, yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
like it.
Burnside Street is what separates the north and the south in Portland, Oregon.
Burnside's great skate park.
I
There.
was just gonna say I remember playing Tony Hawk 1 and skating at Burnside.
Yeah,
It's still alive and well. I used to
Yeah.
work at the building right next door.
nice.
Man,
Just as fun and shady as it ever was.
I would imagine. I went to Port. Yeah. Oh, that was what I was saying. I went to both cities you just mentioned in the last 2 years. I just recently went to Phoenix,
Uh-huh. I'm sorry.
weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, whatever, something, or a month ago. I don't know. But and then last year I went to Portland for this Grimerica meetup thing. Contacted the cabin, which so I flew into Portland, but I was only in the city there for a matter of 20 minutes or so. But but we went out to Seaside, Oregon, right on the coast there, where they film like Goonies and shit.
Yeah. Astoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it held up to the hype. It was rainy. It was kind of gray. Except the last day, it was kind of sunny. It was kind of pretty nice out that day, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
think.
I love the Oregon coast. I mean, to me, that's like the pinnacle of the West Coast because it's just unadulterated. Like, there's not a lot of crud. Not a lot of people want to be in the rain all the time.
Nah, yeah. No, I don't
You're
know. Yeah,
lost.
it's hard. I was only there for like 30 hours, and then I was gone.
Right. Yeah.
But
Are you guys gonna do the Rune Soup thing?
oh no, that as above the whole.
Yeah.
No, I've heard about that though. I'm pretty sure the tickets are probably already sold out.
Yeah, I looked, but if you guys were, I was gonna say Eric from Arnemancy, formerly My Alchemical Bromance,
Right.
is doing his first live podcast thing, and
Oh,
I'll
that's
be
gonna be awesome.
like the eve before that. I plan on
Ren's
busking.
going to be there,
oh, Ren, yeah,
and Nish.
huh?
Oh, cool.
She
Yeah,
lives, she lives near Portland, so
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
she would totally hang out with you.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
She's the artiste mind.
Yeah, what's Nish doing now? Get her in here.
All right.
No, I've enjoyed. Vanessa Kindle turned me on to Nox Mente.
Yeah, we had her on once.
Yeah, I like that.
We have everybody on once.
Mm-hmm. Next
Once
Monday's a great show.
sounds like Johnny Dangerously.
One and done.
Joe Piscopo.
Yep.
My mother called me
Once.
that once. You fucking ice hole.
Bargain bastage.
Oh.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. What so you come from like this art background, and you mentioned something about space, and then one of the running things we talked
Oh,
about
God.
how space is fake because all the images that you've seen
Wait,
are computer rendered, right? You mentioned computer rendering, right? And rendered images of space.
This is a coup.
Mm-hmm. So-
Space is fake.
Space is fake.
It's not fake. It's just misdescribed.
It's misdescribed because I mean, is there really any?
I don't know
true
what it
pictures
is.
of outer space.
I don't know, man. Who knows?
Yeah, to me, that's an alternate dimension, just like any other.
Right there, you go.
It could be the astral plane too.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Mm-hmm.
estimation. And well, I mean,
But it's on the other
granted,
side of the
if you want to
dome.
believe that people have been there,
I don't believe that.
I mean, who knows? How do we know? Everything's in low Earth orbit.
Although I
they
do
claim.
love seeing Buzz Aldrin punch the fuck out of
That was
people.
great.
It is great. But that's just an angry old man who has no more answers. That's what that
With all
is.
these lies you tell. You know what, buddy?
Yeah,
Somebody,
Yeah.
somebody,
Man,
somebody
that dude
who's
can-
confident that they went to the moon wouldn't resort to violence. They would have a calm, cool, collected demeanor.
I'm too old for this lie.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
these feet? They were on the fucking moon. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is a good
I'm
point.
just a Buzz Aldrin fan, I think.
They could they I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? They could
Get
have
your
all been
ass to
mind
Antarctica.
controlled. They could all been mind controlled too.
A fan.
I've got that video on my channel about the little girl interviewing Buzz Aldrin where he says we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah. What's that all
Well,
about?
that's damning.
That is damning. That's damning evidence.
What more evidence do you need?
This little
Dude
girl,
just came out.
she broke the story. This
Yeah.
the 50-year-old story. She broke it. She gets a Pulitzer.
I can't lie to you, little girl.
Yeah.
She didn't know the truth. We didn't do it. It was all a scam. Kubrick recorded it.
Yeah. Which
But honestly, I think
I
that
love
that
the
very we may have gone to the moon in like the 70s or whatever,
Yeah.
but I think that
Right.
first one was a total stage. I think it was recorded footage. I don't think that was legit.
yeah.
I have a hard time buying it. But
I
who knows?
understand why they would fake it.
Yeah.
Well, because you
During
have to
that
have
time,
it
yeah.
succeed. They're not gonna broadcast to the world all these astronauts possibly dying. You know?
People ask all the time, like, "What's the point?" And it was like, "Are you kidding? It was the Cold War." Like, the
Yeah, we had
space-
to express our
everything.
space dominance.
I mean, not to say that I go either way, but I just love the idea. I love the idea that we don't actually know. Like what
It's-
we've been told
Yeah.
is a lie because that just means, ad explorata. You know what I mean? Like
And
it
there's-
means more exploration. We're not done
Thank
yet.
you. I'm glad you translated that. but it's there's so much fuckery around it. Like these tapes that are coming out, or they don't have the technology to get back to the moon. They claim, or it's just like what?
The
What?
big one for me was like, why destroy all the film?
Yeah, why did they get rid of it? Because they
Why
needed
would
the
you do
space.
that?
Oh,
They
we need
needed to
more. We need
record
more
Friends?
disk space. Let's get rid of this historic moment in human history. Like, are you kidding me?
What? Yeah. They're definitely not helping themselves.
No, they aren't. They aren't at all. And then for some reason, every single rover that's tried to land on there like blows up, or nothing can even land on there lately. Like nothing's succeeding.
No, they got that Japanese thing that's doing the orbit and has a live stream.
Live stream
that
of
right?
anime, nothing but anime. They're streaming.
I know, it looks like CGI, but they allegedly have that.
That and a dead man in a Tesla car.
Yeah,
I was just
exactly.
gonna say that was one of the
100%.
coolest things I've seen in a while.
Well, that's Stephen. I mean, we could all agree that that's Stephen Hawking's body in that car, right? Well, no, because honestly, he died. Then
Somebody
a week
problems
later,
with
that
that.
car
You're not
launched.
a nice person.
That's a brilliant.
It was
death.
probably
Like,
it was probably his dream to get launched into space.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is like, oh, I'll do it
do a
because
black
I'm
hole.
fucking Elon Musk.
yeah. Because he Elon Musk.
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
into space.
Nah, dude, it's
What do you
Stephen
guys think
Hawking.
about this Neuralink thing?
Explain. Talk to me.
Of the end, is it Skynet?
Neuralink?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like we're linking our brains to machines. It's fine.
that's the Elon Musk's AI thing, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
the brain computer interface.
All right.
I'll try it
He
out.
said
Is
that
it like
it's
a helmet?
didn't
No,
he
it's
say it
chip in
was
your brain.
demonic or something, or,
Is
it feared him or something on Rogan?
Is it a chip that you put in your brain? What is this?
It's like a wearable and an implant.
And they wanted it out by like next year or something.
Can we?
Yeah, like what's the rush on that?
We're doing human testing.
Yeah.
So could I like talk to James from a state away and with my brain when we're not
I
even
have
doing anything?
No idea what this means.
Can we
Like, I don't-
podcast with our minds?
Damn.
I know. Would you touch your temple like Johnny Mnemonic style?
Right. I just leave it on all day so James could just see all my horrible thoughts that go through my head all day long.
Oh man.
He's just like, oh God, just stop,
God.
just stop,
I really
Grim.
want to fuck this
It's like,
rump roast.
why does every 5 seconds with that butcher knife feels like he's slicing his wrist? Like, I'm really getting a complex here, man.
It's just so weird.
It's so weird.
So many
Yeah,
women just
Neuralink
getting
is the
raped in a meat
developer
cooler.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's all right. I was just talking about
I
rape.
heard rape and I quit.
Say
that,
rape
that,
in a
that probably shouldn't have went through.
That's usually the buzzword for me to stop talking.
Oh, too much.
But yeah, I'm just reading the Neuralink website. Neuralink is the developer of the Neurological Integration System, NIS, not NES, a global training program for practitioners offering profound benefits to patients throughout the world. Holy shit, that reads like a magical grimoire.
So that's like for doctors, basically.
Yeah, practitioners
Yeah.
offering profound benefits.
So rich people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So rich people can talk to each other, but not us. Yeah.
Well, so there's this little tab. It says, "How can NIS help me?" The first bullet is cellular signaling is brain controlled. On this basis, we have life. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay. We have life.
Yeah.
So if you don't have this, is death. Abs above, so below.
I
Fuck the
don't.
iPhone.
Is this basically like the singularity happening? Like, is this us merging with the machine?
So I love the theories that, when CERN turned on the Hadron Collider,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone's reporting this Mandela effect thing.
It's so great.
I absolutely adore that there is this shift beyond us that just fucked us.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing we can do, man. That's what you get when you're, tapping into Hadron Collision.
Yeah. And they're making one, the size of large cities.
Well, what are your thoughts on
ring.
that? What are your thoughts on the Mandela effect?
Well, it's almost like the anti-egregore, right?
I explain. I'm dumb.
So people, there's group misremembering. So it's, there's no way to prove it. Honestly, there's no way to prove if there actually was Bernstein or Bernstein bears, because the whole thing is that it was changed throughout all of reality.
Yeah.
It's the perfect psyop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And I think it's fun. I think of 2012 a lot because, obviously all the other connotations with like Daniel
That's when it
Pinchback
happened.
and Coddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my own life, I went through some fucking, like, that was when I turned my shit around.
How old
So
were
there
you?
was an end. I was 27.
So right around your Saturn return, almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
Sounds
yeah,
about right.
I mean-
That's like when I got hit too, right? Like 2013, like around my Saturn return.
Yeah.
Nope.
Pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and just dove deep into crazy shit.
Yeah. That and like just got myself fucking together.
Yeah,
A little.
yep.
know?
Beat my addictions too.
Yeah.
With other
Yeah, so-
addictions, but not as bad addictions. I just substituted addictions.
Right,
so it's all right.
But so the 2012 prophecy makes complete sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a mass awakening
like-
to some point for
Yeah.
sure. It wasn't anything that like people were gonna actually see. Like everybody thought that it was gonna be mass catastrophe and all this stuff, but it was a psychological, like mental shift. Just hit
Yeah,
us all.
and that's what Daniel Pinchback was saying too. I think with all of his Quetzalcoatl. I can't pronounce that to save my life, but
that's all right.
the
I know what you mean though. That's all that
Yeah, yeah.
matters.
And like they were talking, like it's not going to be this cataclysmic, physical event.
Mhm.
It's just going to be this awakening thing. And then I like to think that the Hadron Collider turned on and punched it.
Oh, maybe.
And so now, it's a fun
That's why it
thought
seems
experiment.
like some people got through and some people didn't. It
Right.
almost feels like there's
Maybe
like
we weren't supposed to.
yes, that's what
And
I'm
because
thinking.
the hydron turned on, we're like, awesome.
Maybe.
We totally made benefits. You know, dude, that's
Maybe.
a funny idea.
But I also think like just with Earth traveling through the universe or whatever, like who knows if we entered this certain spot of the universe at that point where there's crazy shit that hits our planet and affects us and raises
Every
our consciousness.
25,000 years or
dude,
something.
get, like who knows what affects anything? Like we don't know. We
I'll tell ya.
pretend to know everything, but who the hell knows what's
But
going
we
on?
don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that Ion Horus, you know, is really lagging.
Wait, were they on a horse?
Ion of Horus.
Yeah. Crowley. What was he thinking?
No, I mean, it's just like, come on, what time is it? Or, like, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the whole thing. Why I don't understand.
Well,
why
maybe
the
there has to be some sort.
Aquarius was so famous in the 70s when honestly we had like another 100 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it almost
Everyone-
it feels like right now there's just so much tension in the world. Like there has to almost be
Yeah.
some mass tension and some kind of mass event to happen to get us to that next level. And we're building up to it. Like I feel like the entire planet right now is just a shaken bottle of soda waiting to explode.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's like it's like alchemy, right? It's that second stage, the putrefaction or whatever. It's the, you know, things have to decay to change.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty apparent that that's what's happening right now.
I
In a
blame
way.
Twitter. I blame the internet.
I completely
like
agree.
Facebook.
There's a reality breakdown occurring.
Mm-hmm. There is. Things are just insane.
We all planned on being here to watch it.
Well, so like what do we do? What's like the roundabout way? Do we go back to a collectivist idea? Like, are we shooting for like a trade and barter thing? Are we going
yeah.
tribal stuff? Because it
Well-
seems like everybody's just waiting for it to implode.
Yeah.
What do we do afterwards? You know?
I don't even know. Bitcoin. As long
Buy
as the
some
internet
vitamins, buy some
infrastructure
minerals.
stays up. Yeah.
Bitcoin's worthless because the internet will be gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna
if the
say,
infrastructure
everything
can stay
digital.
alive.
Yeah. And that's a great, you know, segue into, you know, every era or every age, every
Yeah.
generation thinks it's going to be the last, you know, but no one does anything about it.
Yep.
It's really funny. I mean, there are a select few that, you know,
History
have
tends
I
to
think
repeat
because
itself.
everybody
Art
everybody
Bell, you know, out in
Yeah.
the wilderness or whatever. But
everyone at some point in their life they reach a point that realize everybody dies. So
Yeah.
what the hell even matters?
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Like you haven't you well dude, but everybody gets like a nihilist phase where it's just like nothing matters. Who cares? And then that's when the worst shit in the world goes on. Like sometimes you can justify making awful decisions just by taking like a nihilist point of view on things and just say screw it. Nothing matters anyway, so I'm just gonna do this. And you know, that's kind of how we got to this point where we're at today. It's just enough people are like, fuck it, who cares?
Right.
Like it doesn't matter anyway.
a lot of
Just keep going.
chaos.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that's why we got to spin it. We got to put love and we got to put good vibes in the universe. That's why we have a podcast.
That'll buy me a car.
Yeah, it gets dark sometimes, but we need to be a shining light. on
So
this
what do you
world
think
of darkness.
about this Marianne Williamson?
Oh, I'm part of the Orb gang. Let me get in on her. Yeah.
Killing it
Orb.
right
Orb.
now.
although she is kind of, I heard there's a lot of terrible shit with her.
Well, I mean,
Like,
she's trying to be president. Of course there is.
well, yeah, but like some what is it, Church of Life or some kind of shit she was involved with. It's some kind of scam church where she's like kind of a cultist or something. There's some weird stuff she was involved with, but I like her message. Actually, if I had to get behind any kind of Democrat right now, it would be Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I really like that. But I mean, let's be honest. Trump's going to be president for 40 years, so we really can't deny that.
This whole thing is botched.
It's all botched.
It
yeah.
is, man. It's
We have an
it's
entertainer
insane.
for a president.
and I enjoy it because we
A
deserve.
reality TV star.
We
A reality
deserve
TV
this,
star, yeah.
This is what we deserve.
Idiocracy.
So we just need to.
Very
we need
true.
to just eat our vegetables. That's what we're doing right now. We're eating our fucking vegetables.
We're eating our
'cause we deserve
vegetables.
it.
No gluten.
No gluten.
So
Yeah.
we're just.
No, you don't get that. You get everything.
Oh, you get everything
You're getting
covered in butter.
Double.
But then
Jerry,
there's
it's all
like
coming
crazy.
in.
But then
Yeah.
there's crazy stuff going on. Like Jeffrey Epstein is like.
Oh,
he
yeah.
shows up.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that
almost
guy.
dead in
Well,
his
how
cell.
obvious? I mean, what was like really? I thought he was arrested like years ago. Everybody knew he
It's
was
the
a creep.
Mandela effect, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But-
That's totally true. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He gets
Jeffrey
tagged,
Epstein.
and then somebody like he commits suicide or attempts to commit suicide in his
Attempts-
cell.
Yeah.
Like, are you?
He was
kidding
hurt
me?
or attempted committing suicide. Which one is it?
Yeah,
Oh, was that recently?
yeah, that
was-
happened. Yesterday. That
Yesterday.
happened.
It
Oh, I
was
didn't
last night. or
Yeah,
yesterday?
he was found unconscious in his cell. So it's like somebody
Naked.
either
Probably
Really
some
sick,
choke and jerking it.
Yeah.
it's possible.
Ooh,
It could have been
one of
autoerotic
those things?
asphyxiation, or somebody put a hit on him. Who knows?
It's not often I could use choke and jerk. No.
Choke and jerk.
You could always use it. Like that's a standard. You could use that here. Choke and jerking.
We just got butt fucked one too many times.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we
Good.
don't know.
Yeah, that guy's such a fucking creep. It's just it's appalling to me. That,
Yeah.
Weird. I think he's just like a. He was propped up to be somebody who he isn't. You know, he's like the fall guy.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Well,
he's
to get dirt, to gather information
yeah,
on
to
people.
get dirt, and we're like, yeah, it's just like, it's weird. I don't
He had that deal.
to
years
do a little
ago,
bit of background on that dude. I guess he was really nothing, and like
Right.
just worked his way up.
Well,
says he
nobody
has
really
all
knows-
this money. He
Yeah,
doesn't have
nobody
any
knows what his
money.
job is, but
Yeah.
he's got all this shit. Like it's
It's
yeah.
weird.
It's
It's a weird
jobs
story.
trafficking fucking people.
Guy's a weird story.
It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I remember him being in the news and basically being indicted and he getting like a sweetheart deal,
Yeah.
which was like a big public uproar about it back then. And then people are fucking surprised,
Yeah.
you know, that it happens again. And he's got DVDs marked nude pics, like nude,
Yeah, come on.
nude child girl pics.
Yeah, that's like what the hell? Who are you, Subway Jared? Like,
Sounds like
come
a
on.
plant. Yeah. No, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we got on this tangent. The world
It
is
happens.
fucking dying.
Normally, 9 times out of 10, that's where we end up.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it was my fault. I think I brought up Epstein.
Well,
That's what happens.
It's just the amazement of what's happening in real life.
The
you know?
world's
Like,
chaos right now.
Yeah, the world is in complete chaos. Yeah, because that's how it happened. Yeah, that's what we were talking
But-
about. Just how. Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's really not chaos.
Not
Like,
really.
if-
Yeah,
it's
is your
only
neighbor
chaos-
Jeffrey Epstein? Mine
Yeah,
isn't. Yeah,
it's only
like
chaos if you're on your phone looking at Twitter or looking at Facebook or looking at something that's going to enrage you. But
Yeah, if
if,
you
9
go
times
looking
out of
for
10,
it.
if you look outside your window, there's not chaos
fine.
outside.
It was
If
a
you're
beautiful
in
sunny
your
day today.
community, there's not chaos in your community, except maybe you, Keith.
My
Keith,
youngest
I'm sorry.
son rolled in on.
I don't know
me
what's going on in
6 foot
Portland.
Roll-in skate park today.
But yeah, dude, it's just
Right.
Stuff like that.
But really, I mean, shit's not that crazy in real life. It's like some kind of outrage machine that they've designed to make you insane.
I would agree with that.
It's the
I would
archons.
also say, this 24-hour news cycle, just that's what it emits. It makes it seem like we're all in fucking disarray.
Like vomit.
Yes.
Here's some more.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Chaos
it-
machine.
social media, it's like, it's this whole paradigm of being on the internet,
Connected.
digitized, not being accountable for what's happening. You
Mhm.
know, it's
Right. On one hand, I'm like, man, it'd be great if it just exploded and went away. At the same time, I'm like, man, I would need it though to do this show. So I mean,
Nah, dude, we got
maybe
this.
not,
We'll
but
do
you-
we'll do
I don't
CB radio. We
I was
can
gonna
get
say,
this.
just go ham.
we could go ham,
Yeah.
or we can go record the CDR and just hand them out. We can
Oh,
travel.
dude, we
the
could do
country.
mixtapes. Hell yeah.
Leave them at truck
Don't
stops,
title
stuff like
them
that.
nude girl pics.
Yeah, it's nude girl
Yeah,
pics.
nude girl pics. So everybody picks one up
It's true. God, that's perfect.
because everybody's fetishes aren't going away, even though there's no internet.
No, absolutely not. They're gonna
Yeah.
need nudes more than ever. Playboy's gonna regret that they went under. Everything's coming back.
Should have kept the damn magazine going.
Mad Magazine's coming back. It's all coming back.
Wait,
It's
is
funny when you
Playboy
mentioned
done?
zines
I don't know
earlier.
if
I remember
Playboy's done.
those zines.
I'm
dude.
just saying things. I don't know if that's a real thing.
I saw a giant size Rolling Stone in the supermarket the other day and was like, what the fuck?
Giant sized.
You know, like the
Yeah.
old school night, like regular size
Right.
Rolling
Big
Stone.
Rolling Stone.
Weird.
Yeah.
But they went to like just the regular magazine size for a decade or something.
Yeah, I have a regular
We're all
size
just
one.
in a niche, man. It's like all of everything has a niche and everything's got a community for it, you know?
That's funny you said that.
Yeah,
That
it
was the
really
last time I
is.
bought one was regular sizes when Adam Yount died from the Beastie Boys. He was on the
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Stone, and I bought that at when I was at the supermarket one day. I'm like, I gotta have that.
Well, that's the thing with like, you know, I talk to friends, I have good friends that do, you know, podcasts and do
Yeah.
the veer into the certain thing. And a lot of the talk is like, wow, it's so popular now. Like, you know, even occult podcasting is so popular right now. And I was like, I don't think that's necessarily true. You know, I think there's just a niche, a very vocal niche for everything
Yes.
these
Yep.
days.
There's a
you
lot
know?
of interaction about it. Like you
Yeah.
could find that community online and you can get in there. Like it's like not huge when you look at it at the grand scheme of things. If there's like 100 people talking about something, that seems like a lot of fucking people.
Oh yeah,
But
especially
when there's
to us and our weird interests.
yes,
you know?
exactly. Like it seems like a ton of interaction. So I mean, that's awesome though. But that's kind of where the world's at now. There's like so many little sub communities that have just branched off from different things, and everybody finds their little tribes and meets up, and it's a beautiful thing, really.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, be my guest.
I was just thinking about today. You know, the art collective that we do, We the Hallowed, which is, you know, the production whatever thing organization. Wow, I can't even sell this thing. It's just an art collective in Portland, and it's kind of turned into the blog / website, and everybody, you know, posts through, and we have events, and we have invites, we have compilations and zines that we all do together. And to me, that has been the biggest microcosm for what I look for in a community. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
And
yeah,
so I think that's what people are gravitating towards or needing is
Mhm.
something maybe a little bit more outside of the computer in a way.
yeah, I could see that. I mean, well, that's awesome. Just being able to do that locally, like in my area, that's an impossible thing to do.
Right.
Like and that's why I feel like we've kind of branched out. And, you know, I've met my Cruise and Mistake tribe. Like we've met on here, and you know, we meet up once a year or whatever, and that's how it is.
That's totally the way to do that. I would love it. I mean, I'm considering relocating, and the only fear would be that we wouldn't have much access to doing live stuff together. But
Yeah.
honestly, it's gotten bigger. People all over, you know, the place, and I really appreciate that aspect of the digital stuff.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean, that's like we
I
were
think
talking
people
earlier. Like
want-
this
Yeah.
video chat is like the closest thing you get to sitting in a room with somebody. Like, you know, it's
Yeah. The whole idea was like, can you have a collective with an individualism, you know, ethos?
yeah.
And like that, to me, like that contradiction has been the hardest but the easiest to kind of realize in a lot of ways. Because if you're there as a springboard for everybody else's artistic output and artistic, you know, through lines, that doing it under an umbrella or just kind of allowing the platform to speak for itself is kind of like the entire point, you know?
So what you're
So-
saying is you're basically offering a platform for all these people to be able to express their art on and everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
The only like overriding you know, ethos or like scripture, quote unquote, and I put those in air quotes for those listening, is that you know, there is this need to explore kind of the more metaphysical aspects of creativity.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, but that in and of itself means it doesn't fucking matter what you're doing, because we're all doing that. It's just being, mindful, reportive about it, and in certain ways.
Right.
My headphones.
Man, you should really get with Nish. She does like these awesome fucking like videos on YouTube, these real artsy videos that I think you guys would jive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, that sounds great. I think anyone minded like deep into the idea of artistic expression just inherently has that arm for occultism.
Yeah.
I never
Definitely.
got delved like super into the occult, but I always grew up as an artist. I was I've been creative since I could pick up a pencil, and then I did it professionally for a long time, 16 years.
It looks that Batman's dope.
Oh no, I know. I was you were talking about earlier. You do a lot of work on the computer now. Yeah, that's what I did, and that was the professional aspect. That is sketching and drawing. I was never a good sketcher, but I could. It took me a minute to finalize what I wanted. I'm too much of a perfectionist, and but that was a problem with doing art professionally. I worked in the silk screening business, t-shirt like for a sporting goods company, and I did all the graphics for all the clothing, and after that job, I was there for 12 years, and by the end of it, I was like, I can't take it anymore. Like the computer, the screens, all the aspect that involves working with a computer all day long. I mean, for 12 hours a day, I mean, yeah, time can go fast, but like I've spent my life there. And but anyway, so, and I couldn't remember the last time I actually picked up a pencil and drew something, for one, or thought outside the box and did something for yourself. Because we were talking earlier when we first started about fine tuning and editing these shows and the podcast and being creative in that aspect, and the amount of hours you put into doing something, it just, and then like Grim says, it becomes a job and you're really not into it as much. And but if you have fun with it, and I can spend an hour maybe messing around with a cool little image, and then great, boom, the show's done, it's ready, and it's out there. But but as far as doing it professionally, when I could, like I said, I could not tell you the last time I said, like, I did the Batman thing like a year or so after I quit that job. Like, it's just, I finally sat down. I was like, I want to paint something, and I just took some paint and started painting Batman. But being creative never goes away. I've just turned it into a podcast. Not that it's super creative, but it's a thought form, it's expression.
It's insanely,
it comes out in different ways.
No, it's insanely creative. And that's what I mean, is like, I'm not even talking about the mechanics of it so much. Holy shit, is it great to see people liven up when there's like this kinetic back and forth flow, and that's Definitely. Like a big part of the podcasting thing. It's like you're meeting on a fucking plane of existence. is really fun, and that's what I mean, because to me that's an analog thing, and I think what I mean is like analog stuff. You're actively having a vocalization, to people, and talking with people and chatting with people, gleaning information, and applying that wisdom and all of that. It's so like analog, even though the service might be digital.
Right.
And then, I think it's hard for people to, it's definitely hard for me when the majority of the creativity, I put that in air quotes as well, is due to a computer where there's not a lot of interaction, or there's not a lot of physical interaction to it. And like, but it all kind of comes from the same place, and that's why it's so fucking hard if you have a creative job to come home
and do it again.
Yeah.
And do it again and again. Yeah. For another 5 hours, like you're saying. It's like, oh man. Yeah, it becomes a heavy load, like
I have the same issue. I'm a programmer.
Yeah, you're a programmer and you're gonna sit and like it's just I don't know. I find it mind-boggling sometimes, like especially when I was doing that. And granted, I was not doing the show when I had that job. I was I had just got it. I mean, gosh, I started that job in like 2003 and I stopped like 5 or 6 years ago now. Yeah, I've been doing my job now that I have for about 6 years. And so it's completely different. This is as much interaction with the computer as I really get, the stuff I make for the show is on my phone, like so there's lots of cool like things that are completely different, because I got to a point where it's just like, man, there's a 12-year-old kid that knows more about these programs than I do. And I've been doing it for fucking 14 years or whatever,
I know.
Like, it's sad, dude. It's like, man, I give up. And I was at the end of my rope for sure.
I think that's like the Ouroboros of like, the snake eating its tail. Once you start thinking that you can fucking, garner any kind of financial security from doing this when it's a competitive market. And then you were like, oh wait, that's not even the point of why I'm doing this.
Yeah. And it was weird. I never took on that, like, that, I guess, what do I want to say? Stigma of like, I'm like this, like high and mighty, like artist, I never had that embroidered in me. It was my job and I just loved making shit.
Yeah.
That was cool. But like I said, though, then in the end, there was a lot of things involved in the end of it, but like I was burnt out, dude. And then I would realize from time to time that I just I didn't fully enjoy like it anymore. And I think when it's like almost, if you're a sports player or whatever, you when you hit the end of the line, you better stop or else it's just going to get worse. So
right. And on a high note, reserve some energy.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it took a little bit of time, but then we all met here and then now we're having a ton of fun, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with any artistic project for me, like making albums is just such a fucking process, or writing, or it's like so fucking involved in every minutia. But I love that. I love the mechanics of it. I love like the detail that no one's gonna fucking notice. Like,
like I was like a typesetting freak, dude. Like I could tell you, like, oh, that thing's off center. Oh, this thing's like 2 points too small. This thing that's like
and
million things. If I look at fonts and text and
exactly,
like,
and so within those little mechanical parts, like that's where I find the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I can get down on myself about how. When you look at it from the outside and you're like, damn, it took me 5 hours to make this episodic thing. That's bullshit. That's going to hurt me more than it's going to help me. So I shouldn't look at it like that,
I remember I would work on like an image for a client or whatever for 5 hours. And then the boss would come in and be like, yeah, cool, whatever, get to the next one. I'm like, dude, like what and they would just keep harping. I mean, granted, I'm the employee, they're the boss. I can tell me what to do, but I singly ran this whole, the art department, everything. It's just like, and man, it was it like towards the end we were just like, fuck you, no, fuck you, no, fuck you. Like it was crazy, dude. And because like they just did not give a fuck. I'm like, well, dude, the guy paying for your stuff cares, paying for the product cares. And if I'm working on it, I'm going to give it 110%, you know, like, cause that's
why you hired me.
You know, like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, and I was like, do you want shit or do you want the shit? You know, like, yeah, I don't know. That's how I would put it to my salesman. I'm like, man, fuck off. You know, like, it's either going to be garbage or I'm not, I'm not going to do it if it's garbage, you know, like.
So this reminds me too, because like a lot of what happens to me and when the turmoil starts is I can like put too much intention.
Definitely.
Into something, be too head heavy, be too like top heavy with the project. And like the disruption generator, which is a friend.
I was just gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
So it was completely random. So what he did was he took a word generator, like a randomized word generator. And then every day, Monday through Friday, for like months, up until 120, he would illustrate whatever that word was.
Oh.
And so it became like a custom tarot. It became like a custom oracular device. Actually, I have it right over here. But it's that whole point, like the quote is, "What can true randomness do when installed into divination or whatever?" And to me, that was the whole thing. Was like, no, you're giving me this entire one-on-one therapeutic session of observing somebody that's just letting go. Like, I've got this word generator that's what's going to dictate the art for this project every day, and it's turned out so fucking beautiful. But yeah, here's this is the paperback.
That's awesome.
So they look like this.
Oh man, so it does. It looks like a tarot deck.
Yeah. So it's in book form because it was always meant to be a bibliomantic thing.
Right.
And I've been using it every day. I've been using it to actually make the episode art for my podcast.
Yeah.
So like after I have a discussion with somebody, I'll kind of divine the art, and it's always fucking dead on. This thing came from such like unacademic, riddled with overthought or over anything, and it's
just letting go. Here, you make this.
It's been like the most brilliant thing ever, and I'm super proud. And it was cool to be a part of because We the Hollowed like helped put it out. But he does these like big art book.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Is that Batman? No,
I think I have number one.
Batman.
But yeah, and so he's been doing this like short run of hardcovers where you can. I just got Guru. I always get this fucking card. Yeah, but like he does this thing where he's got a short run of hardcovers that are good until the end of this month. And he'll make you a personalized sigil and then give you 2 cards from one of the only decks made of this and give you a reading. And it's just like the love and the care and like all of the precision after the fact. Like it didn't start with precision and it didn't start with, overthinking it or, this.
How long did he write? How long was it that he took?
So he
was drawing pictures.
So it was 120 days total, but it was more than that because it was Monday through Friday. And what he'd do is he'd generate a random word and then he'd illustrate it and then post it on We the Hallowed. So it was daily for like, I don't even know. So, I can't
like 3 or 4
math.
months.
I mean, it was such an intensive process.
So was it his take on what the word was? Like when he drew? Okay. So that's because I saw the one he said ox and it was like an eyeball. I was like, that's awesome.
I love this. This keeps coming up too. Droppings.
Yeah.
And he illustrated his cat's kitty litter.
There you go. Yeah.
And it says to push out that which is on longer or which is no longer needed. or the breadcrumb trail of waste and effluence. I mean,
dude,
the meanings themselves are just on another level of.
Speaking of cat droppings, did you see what Joe Rogan posted the other day?
No, what do you do?
Oh my God, dude. He's like, dude, I parked my truck at LAX for like a week. He's like, I came back And he's like, I thought somebody like dumped a fucking milkshake on my window or something. He's like, I'm pulling out. And he's like, I get up and I look out. If you go on his Instagram or whatever, or on Twitter, you'll see the picture of it. And this, like these feral cats just shit all over the top of his roof and pissed all over the top of his fucking truck, dude. He's like, this is crazy.
They are not fans of his.
No, that's some sort of karma right there.
No doubt. Like, you leave your truck there. He's like, watch out for the west block of LAX parking garage.
Cats. It's probably people.
That's cat shit. Yeah. No, you can tell. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. Cat shit and piss all over your truck.
I don't have any sympathy for that. Nothing against Joe Rogan. I just know it didn't ruin his day. You know what I mean?
No,
Exactly.
Doesn't he have like a car for every day of the year?
Yeah, he probably threw the car away.
That's what I
He
said.
probably threw it away. Yeah.
I'm sure every other car was fine around it. It was a karma that he was to get in there.
There you go.
Something
Karma.
happened.
Yeah.
The universe pays you back.
Yeah. There was something else. Well,
But
sorry,
yeah,
we
these
don't know.
these illustrations are metal, dude.
yeah.
Those are pretty cool.
Plasma.
You mess with music at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got over 10 albums of original music out.
Sweet.
Yeah. That was kind of my biggest. It was the best way I had to communicate all of this shit until, actually just talking about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Man,
just,
we have to have you team up with Felix, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, so I've been really enjoying his music breaks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's such a good guy, man. Like,
That's another thing that I love.
Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs when he did Wooly Bully. I really enjoyed it.
Wooly Bully, yes. Dude, I love it.
he'll come up with the most oddball thing ever, and it's just amazing. Yeah,
He rickrolled us one night.
Holy.
Yeah.
Rick rolled us the one time. Yeah.
I remember that actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he killed it, dude. Oh my God. Yeah.
Email
he's
me a song, and we'll
Okay.
use it
Oh,
as
yeah.
the outro
Put
song.
on the show.
Whatever song you got, just wherever you want. Send it,
Okay.
and I'll drop links to all your music and stuff in the show notes too.
Cool,
if you want
man.
to check it out,
That sounds
I'm
great.
trying to-
we'll do all that. Because we're a big promoter of music here and the arts.
Oh, it's
And sex work.
Actually, I wanted to originally. I was going to offer to play a song, but I left my acoustic.
I was just gonna say. I was like, "Fuck that!" I was like, "And grab your guitar, like, get it out right now."
I have another one.
Yeah.
But it'd be a whole thing. I don't want to take up too much time. Is that an E? Is that an E? Dang. Dang.
Oh, you still got a half hour, so don't worry. And Nish can't join. She's sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. If she listens
well,
to this,
I have to use the restroom, and I'll
okay.
check
Yeah, yeah.
What's the link to your website?
DakotaSlim.net is the music, and then WeTheHallowed.org is the art collective.
Man, I almost feel like if you just want to wrap up now, I mean, I don't know how you're feeling. We can do
Let's
that.
end on a high note. We were just talking about
because
this.
this almost seems perfect. We're just plugging your stuff and so
This whole thing has been very much synchronous.
Yeah, this has been great. Keats,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
I really appreciate you guys.
Synchronicities, yeah. Pragmagick. Check it out.
Dude, I'm sure we'll it's good. Sometimes we'll come up with a theme for like the Tuesday night show, and if we know like we're gonna get in like something cool, some crazy like off the wall, a cultish magic type stuff, dude, we'll give you a shout, man, and then you can join in the controlled chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, please do, man. This is too much fun. And
Yeah.
Awesome.
easy to do on my
Yes.
yeah.
Hell
Keep
yeah.
me in mind.
Cool. Thanks,
Definitely.
Keats.
Thanks, dudes.
It's been a pleasure. Everybody, thanks for listening. And
Have a good
we
night.
are out.
Thanks.
Thanks, you too. All right, bye.
Woo!
Get wet.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that was great.
to pass and I wake you as I go along. For never wanna keep me out for days, and I won't get caught in the wrong. I want to be when I'm 6 feet tall. You won't know when I'm on my knees. It's only when I lost that I found you. Chained to the hue of the new moon, I summon severed arms that cast out the charms to tether, and unbound you, but never sever the tether. Drift and sway as the earth rotates, your looks unafraid, pull it up to give it length and never sever the tether.
Who is original? Everything that we are doing, everything that we think exists already, and we are only intermediaries. What he's saying then, a writer is an interpreter, a map maker, a transcriber. And he says a writer shouldn't think too much. I think he is thinking there of conscious, front brain, linear thinking. That is this little tip of our consciousness.